Awesome. Thank you. I hope that we can, take a little bit of a deep breath and, appreciate that message that came on that video and how important everything is when it comes to the Golden Rule. And super glad to be able to introduce to all of you a very special person, the person that really started Golden Rule Day back in 2007. And that is our friend Musi from URI. And Musi is joining us from Ethiopia. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Felipe.
Thank you so
Greetings.
much for joining us. And so please, the time is yours.
Thank you so much, Felipe. Dear colleagues and spiritual siblings, on behalf of the members of United Religions Initiative, URI, a vibrant community that embraces a rich tapestry of religions, spiritual expressions, cultures, and indigenous traditions, I extend to you warm greetings filled with peace and blessings. It's my honor to welcome you all to today's celebration of the Golden Rule Day. URI is dedicated to fostering understanding, collaboration, and mutual respect among diverse phases and cultures. As a global grassroots interfaith network, URI mission is to promote enduring daily cooperation, to end religiously motivated violence, and build cultures of peace, justice, and healing for the earth and all living beings. At the URI, we believe that by coming together, regardless of our varied backgrounds and faith traditions, we can build a stronger foundation for peaceful coexistence and collective action that benefits both humanity and Mother Earth. Through diverse programs, interfaith events, and community service projects, URI strives to cultivate a meaningful connection and support initiatives that honor our shared humanity, guided by the principle of the Golden Rule and inspired by the spirit of Ubuntu, I am because we are. As you may know, on April 5th, 2007, URI Africa and Interfaith Peacebuilding Initiative, a URI cooperation circle based in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, established the Golden Rule Day. This day was created to promote peaceful coexistence, interfaith harmony, human rights and dignity, freedom of religion or belief, compassion, and to counter violent extremism and hate speech, and to uphold the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's indeed a great pleasure for URI to join hands with Charter for Compassion in organizing this year's Golden Rule Day celebration. This special occasion invites us to reflect on principle, simple in words yet profound in practice, the timeless wisdom of treating others as we ourselves wish to be treated. Today, as we come together to honor this universal principle of life, let us not only celebrate its spirit, but also commit ourselves to embodying it more fully in our lives, in our communities, and beyond. May the conversations, stories, and connection we share today inspire a deeper sense of understanding and genuine care for one another, which is needed in our world more than ever. The Golden Rule stands as a timeless foundation shared by many cultures and faiths worldwide. Observing the Golden Rule Day encourages us to reflect on this principle, fostering mutual respect and understanding among diverse people. The teaching of the Golden Rule helps us to transcend religious, cultural, and ideological divides and reminding us of our shared humanity. By embracing the Golden Rule daily, individuals and communities help build bridges where divisions exist, practicing empathy and kindness as consistent commitment rather than occasional gestures. Collective efforts inspired by the principle pave the way for a more inclusive, respectful, and compassionate world. Moreover, promoting the Golden Rule within educational, cultural, and political frameworks foster environments where freedom of religion or belief is viewed as a shared value rather than a source of conflict. It encourages policy and behaviors that protect minorities and champion inclusiveness. Together, this effort helps prevent violence and uphold the rights that allow everyone to live according to their consciousness and convictions. Embedding the Golden Rule into our social fabric is essential, not only for preventing violence, but for ensuring human dignity and freedom of religion or belief to be respected and preserved. Dear sisters and brothers, in a world that often feels divided, the value of the Golden Rule reminds us of our common humanity and the power we each hold to make positive change through everyday action. The Golden Rule transcends language, religion, and nationality. It encourages us to look beyond our own perspectives and recognize the shared humanity in everyone we encounter. When embraced collectively, it nurtures environments of mutual understanding, respect, and cooperation that are essential in today's interconnected society. It is with this in mind, URI in Africa distributed the poster of the Golden Rule around 3 to 4 million copies in Africa and beyond. By adopting this mindset in everyday interactions, communities can overcome misunderstandings and build lasting relationships rooted in trust, compassion, and kindness. Whether in international diplomacy, workplace collaboration, or simple act of neighborhoodness, the Golden Rule reminds us our action ripple outward, shaping the world we wish to live in. Today, as tensions arise from diverse in opinion, identity, and circumstance, the Golden Rule reminds us of the power we each hold to bridge gaps rather than widen them. It challenges us to pause, reflect, and choose compassion instead of judgment, understanding instead of suspicion. By extending to others the care and fairness we seek for ourselves, we cultivate an environment where dialogue replaces discord and connection softens conflict. Embracing this principle inspires us not only to treat individuals kindly, but also to foster communities where inclusivity and mutual support flourish. Acts of consideration inspire further kindness, building stronger bonds that holds us together during these challenging times. The Golden Rule is more than an ethical guidelines. It's a call to action, a radical invitation to see the world through the lens of shared dignity. In embracing it, we affirm that despite our differences, our aspirations for respect, happiness, and peace are universal. Let us carry this rule in our heart and deeds, remembering that even the smallest gesture of kindness possesses the power to transform lives and heal our community. By living the Golden Rule, we actively choose unity over division and empathy over indifferences, planting seeds of hope for a more compassionate tomorrow. Let us carry the light of the Golden Rule forward in action. May peace prevail on earth.
Thank you so much, Musi. That was amazing, and how true everything that you said was there. I wanted to address all of you really quickly, and again, thank everyone for joining us. I wanted to have a little talk about the importance of the Golden Rule and some of the points that are so critical for us to understand. First of all, in order for us, the most basic formulation of the Golden Rule, treat others as you want to be treated. Very, very simple. In order for you to understand how to, how to treat others in that sense that you want to be treated, there is a process, there's a work that you have to do in order for you to understand yourself and to learn about yourself. How do you like to be treated? So that's the first step. The Golden Rule teaches us that we need to learn about ourselves and how do we want to be treated. And from then on, see how can you apply that knowledge into other people. And so when we talk about treat others as you want to be treated. It's not necessarily meaning, like for example, I love chocolate, so I'm gonna give chocolate to everyone because I know that not everybody loves chocolate. But I realize that I like something specific, which other persons might like as well. Something different. Maybe I like chocolates and somebody else likes oat milk or whatever it is. Just different things. And so the platinum rule, when it says treat others as they want to be treated, it really is telling you to decenter yourself from the topic, from the conversation, and realize that, like, your own universe, the way that you want to be treated is completely different from somebody else's way of how they want to be treated. But you have to realize that in order for you to apply that, you need to learn about them. And so the golden rule and the platinum rule can be exchanged in that way. And so when people tell me sometimes, well, what about the platinum rule instead of the golden rule? In reality, I personally believe that the platinum rule is included in the golden rule because of that situation. So it's kind of like learning about yourself, learning about somebody else. And so the golden rule plus communication and understanding of somebody else's reality allows you to serve them and to treat them how they want to be treated. With that in mind, I feel like it is very important to also recognize that the golden rule is a principle that is in all interfaith. I mean, it's a very interfaith principle found in almost every religion, almost every spiritual tradition throughout the world and throughout history of humanity. And how important and basic it is for us to treat each other with respect, treat each other as we want to be treated, treat each other as they want to be treated. And with that, we can start thinking about issues that are happening in the world that are caused specifically by not thinking of the golden rule. So, for example, nations that tend to use religion, nations that go with religion as their sort of like central to the religion. So, for example, some religions that want, for example, Christian nationalists in the United States want to have, the nation to be Christian and that's it. Eliminating everybody else's voices doesn't believe in Christianity. The same way we have with other nations that, are Islamic based or whatnot. And we see that there are issues there because just like Musi said, there's no freedom and protection, and there is more violence prone to situations like that. And so I hope that we learn and we realize that with the golden rule, we can apply this principle in so many different ways. And so with that, I want to introduce our different panelists that are going to be joining us. And I'm super excited to start first with Dr. Narendra from the Jain tradition. And we'll be having 5 minutes or less for each. And I'm going to be timing them because the golden rule is so cool and so awesome that we all want to geek out on it and talk about it all day. So I need to control ourselves so we can have it in 90 minutes or less. Okay. So let me just remove my pin here and let me introduce you here to Dr. Parson.
It's a pleasure. And it's an honor to be able to speak to such a vast and elite group of people. I would repeat what Philippe said. You have to understand everyone to be able to be genuinely empathetic, sympathetic, however you want to put it. So I'd say in our tradition, one of the most applicable things would be, and I'll say it in Sanskrit, but I'll obviously explain it to you. It's called Parasparo Pagraho Jivanam. Parasparo Pagraho Jivanam. What that really means is we are all living beings on this earth. Humans just happen to be a little of a higher level, but they're still only living beings. Just like any other animals that we can treat, ill-treat, or love, or however we wish to. And we are dependent on each other for survival. That's the basic principle of survival. We are dependent whether we want it or we like it or not, and plants are included. So in the Jain tradition, all living beings have same value like any other living being. And you respect them. So that's why all Jains are vegetarians. And now many of us are becoming vegans only because of the way the poultry and or the dairy animals are treated. But that's, again, we're respecting each other's life. That is the key. if we start with that basic premise and respect each other's lives, then the rest, what Philip said, and Dr. Masi, did I pronounce you right? I hope so. So then the respect will be generated because you're respecting life. So that's the golden rule for survival. Now, if we want to go further, and this can apply to human rights, it can apply to colonialism, which is a very good example because I'm originally from India, which was ruled by the British for many, many years. And one of the things that really helped India get its freedom, not the only thing, but one of the very important things, was ahimsa. That translated literally means non-violence. And if you all remember, Mahatma Gandhi was the great initiator of ahimsa. Without fighting, he got independence. And then Martin Luther King sort of followed that, and he loved Mahatma Gandhi. I think he even visited it in India. So what it emphasizes is nonviolence, respecting each other's lives, including animals and plants. We create an environment in the universe that will ultimately create an environment where everyone will love each other. And of course, to make it really worthwhile, let's show more empathy, sympathy, and love for each other. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Parsons. I really appreciate it. So now let's go with Brother Jamal.
Thank you so much, Brother Felipe. Salams, greetings to these wonderful, as we always say, rectangles of love. I love to borrow this wonderful utterance from Rumi, 13th century, who uttered, please come out of the circle of time and enter the circle of love. So in Islam, the golden rule is embodied in what is called hadith, sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. So the Prophet Muhammad, he said, to be a believer, wish for others what you wish for yourself. Another one, love for people what you would love for yourself. Now, in my training, my parents, my sages, they always emphasize that the golden rule has to be accompanied by a higher consciousness, higher awareness. You know, in the Quran, the most used word is Allah, 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 Allah. But the second most used word is ilm, knowledge, awareness. So I don't know how many times I've been asked to ponder on this wonderful story, like a metaphor, to understand this one insight. And here's the story. There was a compassionate, loving monkey who would go to neighborhood ponds or lakes to pluck the fish out of water to save it from a watery grave. The love is there, the compassion is there, but there's a lack of higher awareness. I repeat because probably I've heard this over 5,000 times. There was a compassionate, loving monkey who would go to neighborhood ponds or lakes to pluck the fish out of water to save it from a watery grave. So for me as a cleric, if I think about what our religious institutions have done, you know, to spread the good news, with this lack of awareness, how we have forced others to convert to our religious beliefs, thinking it is in their highest interest. It's a lack of awareness. The second point I want to make is, from my teaching, is this golden rule has to be accompanied by a sense of balance. So if I'm angry at someone because of their prejudice, biases, their racism, sexism, abusive nature, I have to be careful not to overdo it. If I criticize, it might degenerate into vicious gossip, rumor mongering. You know, I love the words of the Buddha. Dwelling on your brother's or sister's faults multiplies your own. Or the words of Rumi about gossip. Veil the faults of others, so yours might be veiled. Veil the faults of others, so yours might be veiled. So just in conclusion, among many other points, the golden rule is wonderful. It is if it is accompanied by higher awareness and a sense of gentle, compassionate balance. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Brother Jamal. We are going to invite now Sarah from the Baha'i tradition. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. And by the way, I absolutely loved the video. Gorgeous. Thank you. So today I'd like to share a reflection from the Baha'i faith that has deeply impacted my daily life. The Baha'i faith, founded by Baha'u'llah, teaches the unity of humanity, the oneness of God, and the importance of love, compassion, and service to others. So at its heart, it carries this golden rule: to treat all people with dignity, kindness, and a recognition of our shared humanity, which again has been said repeatedly today, which has been beautiful. So there's a little passage that I just wanted to share that I return to often. It says, "Thou art he, O my God, through whose names the sick are healed, and the ailing are restored, and the thirsty are given drink, and the sore vexed are tranquilized, and the wayward are guided, and the abased are exalted, and the poor are enriched, and the ignorant enlightened, and the gloomy are illumined, and the sorrowful cheered, and the chilled are warmed, and the downtrodden are raised up. This is a token of thy grace unto all thy creatures." So when I read this, I feel a shift inside me. It reminds me that no matter how I wake up, anxious, fearful, overwhelmed, unsure, I'm not alone. For me, this really translates very personally to that feeling of being loved in order to give back and in order to practice the golden rule. There's a kind of love described here that is not limited or conditional. It reaches everyone, the sick, the lost, the sorrowful, the struggling. It reaches all of us exactly where we are. And I feel this applies so perfectly to the global situation and ailments of today. It's about recognizing that every person I encounter is worthy of the same care, dignity, and compassion described in this passage. It's God's grace, as we believe, extended to all. And I try in my own small way to reflect that in how I live. It helps me with something else very personal, about feeling, like I said, loved and supported in times of difficulty. And it provides that reassurance that I so appreciate. It changes how I move through the day, about being patient, knowing everyone is carrying something unseen. I try to be kinder to myself, remembering that I truly don't know what other people are going through. And when I read these words, it feels like an outpouring of reassurance that there's a source of strength and compassion that doesn't disappear when I look at it. So another thing that inspires me is the idea that we've been given these writings to reflect on. So personally, that's my practice and those of the Baha'is. So just in concluding, I'd like to say how grateful I am for this, for reminding us of the golden rule, how it brings comfort, clarity, and a sense of connection to something so much greater than ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. What a beautiful moment to share. I really appreciate it. And I have to tell a lot of people that are watching the webinar right now, there's a lot of people that are joining us for the first time in this kind of programming, and Sarah's one of them. So thank you so much for jumping in and helping us out, sharing more about the Golden Rule and in your tradition. So I want to share one more video about the history of the Golden Rule Day broadcast, which is something that we started doing virtually back in 2017, 2018. So let me just play that right now.
We are in Central Park asking people what they think the Golden Rule is and why it's important.
The Golden Rule?
Yes.
The Golden Rule, why? The Golden Rule, what is it?
I don't know. Okay. Golden Rule. I've never heard of that. I don't know. The Golden Rule.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I have not heard of the Golden Rule.
You've never heard of the Golden Rule?
I don't remember what it is.
The Golden Rule?
Yes.
Of anything? That's very deep and profound, isn't it?
It's do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Bingo.
Okay, I believe it's the ability to coexist with others by treating the way that we want it to be treated.
The Golden Rule is treat others as you would like to be treated as yourself, correct?
Golden Rule, it's a rule that was actually made by Confucius. And the main issues of the Confucianism is that you should respect the elderly people and actually respect everyone.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
I believe, what is it, Hillel said?
Yes.
When asked to explain the Torah while standing on one leg, said, the Torah says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The rest is commentary. Go learn it.
The Golden Rule, when I was taught in elementary, simple answer would be treat people the way you treat yourself.
Oh man, that's it. In a divided world full of conflict and mistrust, a grassroots movement has emerged to remind every person on the planet that we share one thing in common, the Golden Rule. Treat others and the planet as you would like to be treated. These words are found in sacred texts of most organized religions throughout history. In 2007, URI Africa and Interfaith Peacebuilding Initiative declared April 5th as Golden Rule Day in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and called upon all citizens of the world to join them in proclaiming the day and living every day according to the teaching of the Golden Rule in order to make our world better and more peaceful for all. Since then, about 700 organizations in 165 countries have joined in proclaiming Golden Rule Day each year. The first 24-hour global webinar celebrating the Golden Rule took place April 5th, 2018. It was organized by 4 international NGOs, the Golden Rule Project, United Religions Initiative, Charter for Compassion, and the Grandmothers Global Healing Movement. More than 30 organizations across the world served as participating partners, organizing events and providing video content for the webcast, which was transmitted live on the goldenruleday.org website and Facebook Live. The international webcast began with world peace prayers offered for 193 countries by the Goy Peace Foundation in Japan, an interview with Australia megastar Lior, and the playing of the Compassion Symphony. A discussion on kindness led by Indian pop singer Nemo Patel.
What's the reason why we holding back from being kind? What's the disease within our sense? We are fine. It'll all happen, one small step at a time.
And music and messages from reggae superstar Peto Banton.
One God, one aim, one destiny, which means that we're all God's children, brothers and sisters.
In South Africa, college students of different races shared stories of how problems with race remain, but with hard work, society will change. In Monterrey, Mexico, the Charter for Compassion chapter shared how they encourage government, business, schools, media, and families to build a more just and sensitive society to human suffering by tirelessly seeking true peace.
Impulsa a trabajar incansablemente para aliviar el sufrimiento de nuestros semejantes.
Para desfronarnos a nosotros mismos del centro de nuestro mundo y poner a otro ahí.
In the United Kingdom, an interview focused on the importance of the Golden Rule to care for the earth. Students from the Middle East, Pakistan, and India shared thoughts on kindness despite differences in religion.
भगवान और अल्लाह में फर्क क्या है?
मेरे ख्याल से वो सारे एक ही है, सिर्फ उनके नाम अलग हैं.
Faith leaders from most of the world's major religions, along with shamans and indigenous spiritual leaders, added their voices to fully demonstrate how the Golden Rule is universal. Ella Gandhi, granddaughter of Mahatma Gandhi, shared, "May this day reverberate throughout the world and cause real ripples of change, which must start with us."
In this day and age, if we practice that a little more freely, things might change.
Are sharing now with Dr. Karishma and their mother Jaru from the Zoroastrian religion.
Prophet Zarathustra from Iran had once said, Ushta amai, amai, Ushta amai, amai, meaning happiness automatically comes to a person who spreads happiness to others. Others means not just human beings, but the entire environment, including animals, plants, fish, and mountains, rivers, the sun, moon, everything, all the creation. Once a person gives happiness, automatically that person feels happy inside. That person is an awakened person who feels others' pain and tries to make that pain better, or just spreads happiness for the sake of happiness, so that everyone's faces are smiling. Everything is bright and beautiful. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mami. The concept of the Zoroastrian faith is that the great energy that guides all of creation, that exists in all of creation, is to be pleased. That means everything, everyone we have in this universe needs to be made truly happy. The great divine in the Zoroastrian context is referred to as Ahura Mazda. And together with the principle of happiness is the principle of service. So it's not just the right to be happy, it's looked at as the power to empower others. So with the concept of happiness, founded on the principle of righteousness, truth, purity, and therefore true divinity, one uses one's good mind, the loving, compassionate, wisdom-based mind, to use the energy, the power, to empower others and empower the great fire, the spiritual energy that exists in all of creation. And therefore you will often see that Zoroastrians venerate and seek to resonate with the great divine, Ahura Mazda, the wisdom, the enlightenment, through the fire. And that spiritual fire is present in each one, in the good minds of each one. So much gratitude to all of you for listening. Thank you. We are part of the Barnet Multi-Faith Forum in London, which respects all faiths, all beliefs, and all of creation. And the Zoroastrian Trust Funds of Europe, which serves the Zoroastrian value system and all of humanity to build resilience and togetherness. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. And thank you so much, Jaru, for being with us as well. What a beautiful touch to have you here as well. So now let's go with Vasu.
Thank you so much, Felipe, and thank you so much, dear friends. It's wonderful to be together today. I'm very happy for this beautiful diversity of traditions. And that is powerful, this diversity that we have. So our diversity is the most precious for me in this interfaith movement. Today, for the Golden Rule Day in 2026, I would like to share my personal perspective as a Buddhist practitioner and recognizing that Buddhism is diverse with all different perspectives and practices. I hope my perspective can support our interfaith work together. I will begin with a verse from the Udanavarja, an early Buddhist collection of sayings attributed to Buddha. In many interfaith circles, we quote this as a Buddhist expressions of the Golden Rule. I open the quote that said, hurts no others in ways you yourself would find hurtful. And I end the quote. Today, this verse is often placed side by side with Golden Rule teachings from many other diverse and different beliefs to show that a spirit of reciprocity and no harm runs through our different traditions. From my personal perspective as a Buddhist, this is more than just be nice. It follows the insight into interdependence. My well-being is connected with yours, and harming you ultimately hurts me, while protecting you also protects me. The practice of no harming, ahimsa, is a way of training the heart so that other people's suffering feels real to us and urgent. Currently, we are living difficult times. For example, we as immigrants, we are discriminated against by hate speech, law enforcement, and policies. Many people are living struggles. And also, at the same time, I can see that freedom of religion and belief is under growing pressure. Global reports found that violations of religious freedom in many countries affects many people, with authoritarian regimes and the rising of religious fundamentalism and nationalism that targets minority. We also see these forms, and in my personal context, Christian nationalism that try to refuse that one religious identity should have the power of the law. So these movements often limit the rights of all, including women, LGBTQ plus people, and religious minorities, and frequently resist the idea that everybody should be free to practice their own religion. Article 18 of the Declaration of Human Rights states that everyone has the right of freedom of belief. So for me, non-harm also means defending the freedom of belief, non-belief for everyone, not only for my beliefs or my side. But I believe that religious communities must also respect the freedom of belief of each individual. For example, if a person decides to leave the community because they don't feel comfortable or they don't believe in the teachings or they feel pressured, I believe that the religious communities should respect their freedom to live, the personal freedom of belief. Unfortunately, many religious communities pressure individuals to stay by promoting fear and saying that living makes them enemies. So I believe when Buddhists, Christians, Muslims, Hindus, and all diverse traditions collaborate together to protect freedom of religion and belief, we are also practicing the Golden Rule. So on this Golden Rule Day, from my personal perspective as a Buddhist and my interfaith perspective, I hear this teaching as an invitation to protect each other's dignity and freedom of belief. The power to see that no one of us is truly safe or free until all can live, believe, or not believe without fear. My hope is that together, across our different traditions and convictions, we can keep asking one simple but demanding question. If I will not want this harm for myself or my community, how can I allow it for anyone else? So I invite us to keep this question in our community and our daily conversations. Thank you so much for this beautiful connection. Thank you, Felipe.
Thank you, Vasu. Thank you for that beautiful sharing here. So why don't we keep going now with our vegan friends? I would like to introduce first Shane, and then we'll go with Lisa and then Tammy. And then we'll have another video about the Golden Rule and vegans.
Thank you very much indeed, Felipe. It's an absolute honor to be invited to speak to you in this way as a part of this event. Now, my name is Sheen. I am currently the head of a spiritual order in the United Kingdom, based in the United Kingdom, that was founded in 1920 called the Brotherhood of the Essenes. And within the context of my work within the order, I'm known as Father Sheen. Now, considering that this event is really centered on compassion in action in the world, I'd like to really start by offering a definition of compassion, which is as follows: that to have compassion requires that we perceive the suffering in another being and then have the determination and the will to do whatever is within our power to alleviate that suffering. And so consequently, when we think about the Golden Rule, this allows us to begin to act more compassionately in our dealings with the world around us. Now, I would like to echo everything that has been shared so far by all of these wonderful speakers, these wonderful people who are obviously really genuinely, deeply dedicated to their particular spiritual path. And I'm honored to be in your presence, every one of you. But to really, I'd like to invite everybody to consider our relationship with the Golden Rule as something which isn't just human-centric. There are several of you who have included our relationship to do unto others as we would have them do unto us. And when we think about others, we're so human-centric, we like to think everything revolves around us as human beings. But it doesn't, really. We are just a part of the whole. As the gentleman who spoke from the Jain tradition mentioned, we are just equally a part of all life. And I'd like us to really, I'd like to invite everybody who hears these words to consider more deeply our relationship with the animal kingdom and to begin to perceive our fellow creatures as spiritual beings with their own spiritual sovereignty, and to consider how, if we're to live in a more peaceful world, then what's required of us as individuals and collectively. What do we need to do, or what do we need to stop doing if we're to move into a more peaceful way of being? So I'd like us to consider our relationship with how we treat animals and how we treat the natural habitats that the other sacred forms of life which we share this beautiful planet with rely upon in order to live out their lives in hopefully in peace and tranquility. And I'd like us to consider what is required of us. If we're to live in a more peaceful world, then we need to begin to treat all life peacefully. We need to consider how the choices we make in our lives. We cannot expect peace and commit violence toward other forms of life. And I invite all of you to really, really begin to think about this far more deeply. We have a wonderful potential to move into a new and wonderfully uplifted experience of collective spiritual vibrancy in the world from all different religions. But I really truly believe that it all boils down to how we treat not only our fellow human beings, but all life. So I'd like to invite everybody to consider our relationship with the sacred spirit of all life and begin to act accordingly in our daily lives with greater responsibility and respect. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Felipe and the Charter for Compassion, for inviting us to be part of this wonderful event, our Golden Rule Day, which we've been celebrating with you in partnership for a few years. And our intention is to bring in all living beings as part of this. And so I'd like to share a couple of slides, if that's okay with you. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, wonderful, thank you. Let's see. And then I'll do a little. So first of all, I wanted to let you know that I'm here with In Defense of Animals, and I'm a campaigns director at this international animal protection nonprofit. I'm also the founder of Vegan Spirituality and the co-founder of the Interfaith Vegan Coalition. So our coalition declares that all life is sacred and interconnected. And what we do is work with all faith and secular wisdom traditions to end human-caused violence, domination, and exploitation toward all beings. We're actually a large group. We have 65 member coalitions, and we have 2 of our member organizations are here today speaking with you, one from the Million Vegan Grandmothers, and the other is Father Sheen, who just shared from the light of the animal kingdom. For us, the Golden Rule is all about veganism, to treat others as you would treat yourself. So we invite everyone to reconsider worldwide animal treatment and suffering in the food, fashion, entertainment, and pharmaceutical industries, so that we can widen our circles of compassion and consider the suffering of animals and ways that we personally can alleviate that suffering. By including the animal neighbors in our thoughts, prayers, and actions, and our own peace of mind and world peace begins on our plates. So veganism is the principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. So one way of doing this is a plant-based, which is a diet that doesn't include any animal products. So, and then beyond that, the idea and the lifestyle to reject the exploitation of animals in what we purchase, our bath and body products, the clothes that we wear, the types of entertainment that we choose, to ensure that no one suffers. Part of this is learning and seeing the truth, looking behind closed doors, and educating ourselves about what happens in the animal agriculture and pharmaceutical industries. What happens now is legalized cruelty. The standard practices in all animal farming include sexual violation and forcible impregnation, mutilations, taking babies from their mothers, and killing the male babies. And the egg and dairy industries and all of the animals eventually are sent to slaughterhouses for these unnecessary products. The world that we want is inclusive of peace, nonviolence, and, as the Golden Rule says, doing unto others as we would have them do unto ourselves. So this is a justice movement, just like the other movements that improve the quality of life for all beings. So we are asking that everyone normalize veganism, that we tell and show the truth, so that we can have a world of harmony and compassion for all beings. So something you can do is go vegan. We have initiatives and alerts that you can sign to take action, and we have some resources to share with you following these presentations. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
It's such an honor to be here. So I'm just wondering, is Lisa showing the video during my time to speak, or is that going to be in the...
We'll be showing it after Bandana. So you and then Bandana, and then we'll show the video.
Great, thank you so much. So thank you. I am here as a member of the Interfaith Vegan Coalition and the Million Vegan Grandmothers, along with our co-community Climate Healers. And our vision was to host the first ever International Calf and Cow Mother's Day, which represents our grandmother's pledge, which is to protect the grandchildren of all species and their homes, as we would our human grandchildren. We would do anything to protect them. So I'll just share a little bit, and I'll stay within our few minutes. So the latest project of the grandmothers is Calf and Cow Day, which will be a global movement on Mother's Day. We are in the process of building our website, which is calfandcow.org, and there you can submit an event that you would like to host on Mother's Day weekend to celebrate the bond of the mothers of other species. All beings feel pain, love their young, and dream. And a dream we all share with all species is that all babies of all beings will one day be free to suckle on their mother's milk, safe. The powerful and sacred bond between mother and infant is celebrated by every culture, but we know that over the course of the tragic history of colonization, it has been broken remorselessly many, many times. We are shocked and grieved, for instance, to learn of those Indigenous children who were taken from their mother's arms and ended up in the unmarked residential schools close by my home. Perhaps we can take some comfort in the fact that it's not as easy to commit such crimes against humanity. And yet, whatever moral progress this may represent, our celebration of the maternal bond still extends, for the most part, only to the human communities. This, despite the fact that a cow and her calf, for instance, know each other by sight, by sound, by heart. The truth is, the bond between a mother and child transcends not just cultures, but species. It is only our anthropocentric bias that has allowed us to physically break it repeatedly and systematically without so much as a thought. It is not just bovine calves and cows who are suffering, of course. Across ecosystems, the children of many species are torn from their mothers. Bear cubs starve, for instance, when spring quota removes adult females. Young whales are orphaned when the mothers are hunted. Paul Watson reminds us that extracting and separating and harming calves and cows of the sea are happening as well. But this casual cruelty at the heart, or rather at the heartlessness of the dairy industry, is particularly normalized violence. An example that is so potent and symbolic of non-compassion. In the dairy industry, calves are routinely separated from their mothers within hours, while they're often still licking off the placenta. Globally, 1 million and more calves meet the fate of being removed, mostly killed, and the mothers are impregnated and abused and imprisoned over and over again. We must demystify the dairy industry. Milk is not a commodity. Each species produces milk only for their young. So on Mother's Day, this Mother's Day, the first ever in 2026, the Million Vegan Grandmothers will hold the first International Calf and Cow Mother's Day, a ritual of remembrance, education, and celebration that centers the mother-child bond across all species. And we encourage you to join us. This Mother's Day, let's fully honor the bond between mothers and babies by celebrating motherhood across all species. I'd like to finish with a poem. Do I have enough time to finish with a poem by Ashley Capp? I wasn't looking at the time.
30 seconds left.
Okay. Then I will read the one from the calf. There's two here. Calf. He wasn't conceived in love, but commerce. But life wants itself and grows love. His mother loved what curved and snugged in her body. Her mother wanted a child whom she birthed on the ground, who wanted to rest on the damp flank, who was loaded. The truck brought him wet to sail. So new to the world, so undone by my kind, I would kneel in the funk of his prince, at the bare flank of his mother, ear numbered, breathing hollow, calling from her throat. I would like to put in the chat, on the 25th and 26th of April, the Climate Healers is hosting a vegan convergence of the people that is going to be the launch of International Calf and Cow Mother's Day, with speakers like Victoria Moran, Captain Paul Watson, and many other people from around the world sharing how we can further protect the mother-baby bond of all species. Thank you very much for allowing me to share.
Thank you, Tammy. Bandana, before we go to you, we're going to share a quick video that ties in with everything that we're sharing right now.
Do unto others, mothers and babies, their homes beneath the wandering sky, rivers that cradle the salmon returning, wild geese in a silver flyby. What would we wish if we were the trembling newborn beneath the morning sun? Shelter and kindness, warmth and belonging, is that not what every life wants? So widen our golden rule, wider and wider still, till every family safe and free lives on ocean, meadow, hill, not in fright, not out of sight, but shining where love can live. Do unto others, all our kin, the care we long to give. Do unto others, beings for all reasons, wing heart beating under the heavens, knows its joy and knows its grief. In Forest Glen, where the ferns are breathing, in ocean's blue, where the whales still roam, every mother sings to her baby. This earth is our ancient home. So widen our golden rule, wider and wider still, till every family safe and free lives on Ocean Meadow Hill. Not in fright, not out of sight, but shining where love can live. Do unto others, all our kin, the care we long to give. Grandmother tree hears the wild pleas rising through the wind and the trembling ground. Cows that cry for the touch of their mothers when the trucks come rumbling round. Eating animals, taking their babies, drinking milk that was never ours. Is that the song of the golden rule, or the shadow of human power? Will we always be forgiven for the sorrow we could not see? Is this the best of our bright intelligence, children of the galaxy? When Genesis whispered in the garden, 129 in morning light, seeds and fruits were given freely, food of mercy, food of life. After the flood the words were spoken, if you must in darker years, but must we still when the fields are blooming and compassion draws us near? We need not must. Worth keeps reminding through every river and every dove. Let us get back to the garden, hear the ancient rivers sing. Let the mothers keep their babies under sky and forest wing. Let the golden circle widen past the fences we once drew, till the lore of love grows larger than the fears we once outgrew. We are stardust, we are golden, children of the cosmic sea. Every creature born beside us shares this fragile mystery. So wide now the golden circle, like a sunrise on the earth, till every family walks in safety and compassion gives us birth. Widening our golden rule, wider and wider still, till every mother, every child lives on Ocean Meadow Hill. Not in fright, not out of sight, but shining where love can live. Do unto others, all our kin, the care we long to give.
Thanks to the Interfaith Vegan Coalition for not only sharing wonderful words, but also this video. Very inspiring, very nice. So thank you for that. Now we are gonna go ahead with the program. So Bandana and Bhupinder, if you want to join us here, we're gonna pin you.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you so much, Felipe. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. We are truly honored to be amongst all of you. We have learned so much from hearing everyone's beautiful stories. And if anything, it has really solidified the fact that we are all united, we are all one. And, you know, I wish that as a greater society, we could all see that at the core, we are all the same. My name is Bandana, and this is my father, Bhupinder. He is also the wisest person I know, and so I asked him to sit here with me, and we're going to sing 2 lines from the Sikh faith and then we will discuss how they apply. मानस की जात सब है, एक पहचान वो। मानस की जात सब है, एक पहचान वो. So what these words are saying is that everyone, all of humanity, all of us, we are united under oneness. We are all the same. Our scripture, our Sri Guru Granth Sahib, starts with the words Ik Onkar, which means one energy, one God, one light that is in all of us, regardless of caste, creed, religion, gender, or anything that humanity has now declared dividing. We end every prayer with Sarba Tabala, and those words mean for the good of all of humanity all over this earth. And the three basic tenets of Sikhism are Nam Japo, which is remember God, Van Chako, share with all of humanity, and Kirit Karo, do good deeds, do seva or selfless service. And why does this golden rule matter? It matters because it applies to all of humanity. It applies to all of us in our daily life. We have the concept of langar in Sikhism, which is a free community kitchen open to everyone anytime. Historically, the concept of equality in India, when these lines were written, it was a very foreign concept. It was very deeply divided. Society, caste system was very prevalent. And this radical declaration of absolute equality was something that was unheard of until Guru Nanak Dev Ji's time. And so the concept of the golden rule as applied to where we are today is that we should not just do no harm, but we should also really think of everyone as one. And everybody who I encounter, I should see as a mirror of the divine. And I should see that if anyone's light anywhere on this earth is getting extinguished, that is the light of the divine that is getting extinguished. And the concept, like I mentioned earlier, of vanchako, which is share with others, is something that it can be applied to this day, to every single day, in terms of seeing this light, giving to others, not just being passively sympathetic, but doing active work to help everyone all over our earth. There are so many atrocities, so many maladies that people are facing. And if we can remember the concept of manas ki jaat, sabe eke pehchanbo, we would be a better society as whole. Every single concept that everybody here talked about genuinely is saying the same thing. And I truly wish that everybody in this earth could be part of this webinar, because I do think that we would understand that we are more united than we think, and we use these man-made boundaries to divide us. So if anything, let's all hope and pray for us to stay united. Let's pray for the betterment of all of humanity, and let's keep the concept of Sarbat Tabala, which is the good of all, with us at all times. Thank you so much for having us. We are so grateful to be here. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Let's go now with, let me see where we are here. Rini from the Hindu tradition.
Let me greet everyone with a namaste. The divine in me honors and respects the divine in each one of you. I'm so happy that in these tumultuous times, when the world is so polarized on one hand and super traumatized on the other, URI is bringing the Golden Rule celebrations to refresh our souls and to remind us of our true spirit of empathy. I'm truly blessed to be here. The Golden Rule is recognized all over the world. It's recognized by all faiths, all religions, I think most of the religions. And so it's a very powerful message. The Golden Rule remains a powerful reminder that kindness is an universal language that unites us all. as the Hindu sages and wise rishis have been telling us for centuries. There is only one religion, and that is the religion of love. There is only one language, and that is the language of the heart. There is only one God, and He is omnipresent. The Golden Rule is not just a social guideline for Hinduism, but it's a spiritual, ethical necessity for our positive karma and ultimate liberation. It was primarily mentioned in the Mahabharata, chapter 5, I think it was verse 15-17, which states this golden rule. It promotes universal compassion, empathy, recognizing the self in all living creatures. In Hinduism, the Golden Rule transcends the human-centric approach. This dictum, this principle extends our responsibility beyond humans to all beings, to the animal world, as we've been told by most of our panelists here, the plants, the foliage, the environment, even to rocks and soil and the all-encompassing Mother Earth. The crux of this golden rule in Hinduism is inseparably connected to the very main principle, which is oneness, the unity of existence. You know, it can be compared to the ocean. We are all little waves in this ocean, and our ultimate goal is merge is with that ultimate bliss, the ocean of divinity, our ultimate. So we are all interconnected. We are all made of, we might look different, we might be diverse in everything else, but we are actually made of that one thing, one divinity. And like the waves are made, all they can be big and small, and one surfing wave, one this wave and that wave, but they're all made of water. So we are all made of that divinity. The concept stresses that as soon as we become separate from the others, then we suffer. And this illusion, this Maya, is what keeps us separate. We have to be part of one divinity. As soon as we become part of one, then our suffering becomes less. But as soon as the big I comes in, me, I, me, and mine, then all the suffering ensues. Then we are divided and all the suffering ensues. On stressing the oneness concept, the key aspects of the Golden Rule in Hinduism is nonviolence, karma and dharma, universal empathy, and action. That it's not only negative, do not do this, do not harm others. We have to take a positive step and do our duty to treat all creatures as oneself. I must conclude with one of our present day Swamis, Swami Sarvapriyanandaji's oft repeated quotes, a refrain from the Nirvana Satakam, composed in Sanskrit by Adi Shankaracharya in the 8th century. It summarizes the essence of the Vedanta philosophy. Mano buddhi ahankar chitani naham. We are not the body. We are not the mind. We are not even this intellect. We are Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. We are pure consciousness. We are eternal bliss. We are a spark of the divine. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you so much, Renee. That was beautiful. Morgana, your turn. And because we're running a little late, if you can, get really, really short, that would be amazing. So let me just pin you right here.
No worry, no worry. So very, very quickly, so my main name is Morgana. I am indeed truly honoured to join you all today, remembering and celebrating Golden Rule Day. Just to put into perspective, I live in the Netherlands, near to Utrecht and the River Rhine, and we belong to the bioregion North Sea. And I always, wherever I am, acknowledge the spirits of the land and all our ancestors who are with us every moment of the day. I work with the United Religions Initiative and the Charter for Compassion, and I'm coming here today as a Wiccan, and I would like to share what the Golden Rule means to me from a Wiccan perspective. Wicca is often described as a nature-based religion, a goddess-centered and lunar path, but above all, it is a mystery tradition. As a Wicca initiate, I have taken an oath. This vow shapes and guides all our actions and deeds. In healing rituals, we follow the guiding principle, if it harm none, do what you will. This is known as the Wiccan Raid, and it is perhaps the closest expression we have to the Golden Rule. However, it does not fully encompass our deepest ethical instinct or natural worldview. At the heart of Wicca is a profound reverence for the earth and all living beings, including even the stones. We exist in a constant state of sacred connection, and at some level, we are always in sacred space and never truly separate from one another. When we speak, think, or act, we influence what is sometimes called the web of weird. Like a tapestry woven from many threads, every action resonates throughout the whole web. A kind or positive thought ripples outwards and touches all beings. Equally, a harmful or negative thought also carries its influence. This raises an important question. What is a good thought? What is a bad one? In answering this, we always return to our oath and to the guiding wisdom of the Wiccan Rede. Often, when reflecting on the guidance, the instructions for magical practice, the Wiccan Rede, we receive insight and inspiration for navigating many aspects of daily life. This includes how we respond to hate speech, misinformation, but even, and above all, the sharing of good news. But we come to understand that every action affects not only those around us, but ourselves as well. We are also reminded that timing and place are crucial. Truth may indeed set us free, but when spoken at the wrong moment or in the wrong setting, it can have unintended and even devastating consequences. We are also inspired by a seminal text called The Charge of the Goddess, which is often used at our Esbats or full moon rituals. Listen to the words of the goddess. I, who am the beauty of the green earth, and the white moon amongst the stars, and the mystery of the waters, and the desire in the heart of man, call unto thy soul, arise and come unto me, for I am the soul of nature, who giveth life to the universe. From me all things proceed, and unto me all things must return. And before my face, beloved of gods and man, thine inmost divine self shall be enfolded in the rapture of the infinite. Let my worship be within the heart that rejoiceth, for behold, all acts of love and pleasure are my rituals, and therefore let there be beauty and strength, power and compassion, honor and humility, mirth and reverence within you. And thou who thinkest to seek for me, know thy seeking and yearning shall avail thee not, unless thou know the mystery, that if that which thou seekest thou findest not within thee, thou wilt never find it without thee. For behold, I have been with thee from the beginning, and I am that which is attained at the end of desire. Blessed be.
Thank you so much, Morgana.
Here we see that every act of kindness and compassion is my religion. We also learn much from diverse spiritual traditions and never forget that there is one ocean, one family, one humanity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Morgana. And thank you everyone that has participated on this amazing webinar, Celebrating the Golden Rule. I just wanted to share something that Marilyn shared on the chat. So I'd like to share the Jewish practice of tikkun olam, repairing the world. This idea has evolved over time, but today it is widely understood as a moral and spiritual responsibility to work toward justice, compassion, and the betterment of society. Tikkun olam is lived through everyday actions, acts of kindness, justice, care for the earth, and community responsibility. Thank you for that, Marilyn. Thank you for sharing that. So thank you, everyone that has shared all your spiritual practices. We only have 5 more minutes left, so I wanted to really give time to URI, Layla. She's here with us. We're going to share, the golden rule is a principle of action just like compassion is. And so we have learned, we have shared, we have realized the commonality and the beauty that we all hold through the golden rule. Now, what can we do to explore, more awareness, to put it into practice, and what can we do? So Layla's going to share with us a little about URI's offerings of how can you expand your compassion and also your awareness of the golden rule. Layla, all you.
Thank you, Felipe, and thank you, everyone. This was so inspiring, and it is great to start the week with this meaningful gathering, and thank you all for coming, for spending your time with us, for being here. As Felipe said, I'm Layla. I'm serving as a membership growth coordinator and partnership lead in United Religion Initiative. And wasn't that beautiful how Musi addressed the audience at the beginning, and we in URI called him like the founder, the father, and the golden rule man himself. So we are so glad to have him as a part of the community. And as he was explaining in his address speech, is that URI is basically found on the golden rule principle. So we are all bringing people together from all over the world to work together, to practice compassion, but also to work towards more peace, justice, and healing. And unfortunately, today's world needs peace more than ever before. So we strongly believe that works of URI and our partner organizations like Charter for Compassion and all others is much more needed now than maybe ever before. So when you, Felipe, asked me to come and to share some resources, I was thinking the biggest resource that we can offer you is community. So I want to extend this invitation for all of you to join us, to join our efforts, to join URI as a member. And there are different membership options within our community, like becoming individual member, forming the cooperation circle, which is the core of our work, which means bringing people from at least 3 different religion or spiritual background together, and at least 7 of people who are working towards something together. It can be golden rule. And seeing all of you on the screen, I'm thinking it will be beautiful for all of you to come together and form the cooperation circle. It may be the golden rule cooperation circle, and I think that you can do a lot. So I will be sharing more details in the chat about our membership option, how you can join the URI family, as we call it. We are the biggest grassroots level interfaith organization in the world. We are present in more than 120 countries, and we have more than 1,200 cooperation circle and more than 2,500 individual members, and we are reaching literally millions of people on everyday basis. So it will be such a lovely if all of you can join us. And besides joining, there is a bunch of the resources that our members are producing on everyday basis. So I will be sharing more in the chat. I know, Felipe, at the beginning you mentioned, yes, there is a green rule, but it is the same as the golden rule. But we strongly believe that there is a space for the green rule in today's world. And listening our dear friends from the vegan community and seeing this beautiful video, which was very touching and inspiring and truth-provoking, I think that the green rule should be in the center of our discussion. And there I will be sharing more materials about that. And living in a world where there is so much violence and hate around us, our colleagues from URI from all over the world developed something that we call no hate speech rule, which is based on the golden rule, but focusing on the preventing hate speech and any kind of the violence, because we in URI strongly believe that there is no space to any kind of the violence, and we are practicing what we call health approach to violence prevention, in which we try to treat any violence as a disease and prevent it, and having tools and knowing tools like that hate speech doesn't have room in any faith or spiritual tradition is something very meaningful. And lastly, we are having a bunch of different programs like community calls, but also intro workshop, which are offering you possibility to come to meet colleagues. And I was a little bit sorry that today's we are having this webinar and you can just see the panelists, but I think that you were missing interaction among yourselves. So I'm inviting you to join us and our partner organizations in different opportunities, learning ones that are available for you. So I will be sharing more information in a chat because I know that we don't have a lot of time and we want to appreciate all of you being here and be quite punctual. Thank you very much for coming, and I think that we all just need to remind ourselves on everyday basis that we should practice Golden Rule, that we should try to be Golden Rule people and to really live by Golden Rule standards, and then I'm sure that the world will be a much better place. And as Ambassador Musi and we as URI like to finish a lot of our speeches and calls is may peace prevail on earth and may peace prevail in our hearts and minds. And thank you, Felipe and Charter for Compassion, for inviting us and for organizing this meaningful gathering. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Leila, and everyone at URI for, providing so many different voices from around the world. I know that we are running out. I mean, we're out of time, but I just wanted to share for 2 more minutes. I wanted to share a video from GoldenRuleism, which is one of our partner organizations, about becoming an ambassador, and then we'll share some resources from the Chart for Compassion, and we'll be done. So just let me share my screen right here, and we'll be good to go.
Do you know the 2 principal principles of GoldenRuleism? There is a big idea with huge power. These are the 2 principal principles. The first one is do for all others, both directly and indirectly, what you would want done for you. Give a kind compliment to a friend or a stranger, or speak up when someone is left out. Principle 2. Don't do to any others, either directly or indirectly, what you wouldn't want done to you. No pushing. No teasing. No leaving someone out of the game. It's noticing someone who's sad and sitting with them. It's cleaning up the park so the next kid can run barefoot. It's teaching each other to be gentle with animals and teaching each other to be gentle with words. GoldenRuleism grows when we do tiny things again and again. Standing up for someone who can't stand up for themselves. It is for children, animals and nature, for all living beings. Practice these 2 principles together. Watch kindness spread. We are GoldenRuleism ambassadors.
Tróna mai a cardia agus tasúla gum go bhfuil tú go mai, which means from Irish to English, good afternoon, good evening, dear friends, and I hope you're all well. I'm sending you a quick message from the GoldenRuleism team because unfortunately technology wasn't working on our side earlier on when we were celebrating through beautiful conversation and exchange Golden Rule and what we call GoldenRuleism Day now, which has evolved from the Golden Rule. I'm very privileged and honoured to be part of a GoldenRuleism team, and we're partnering with our friends and our colleagues with the Charter for Compassion. And I got a lot of inspiration, I got a lot of wisdom, I got a lot of shared intuition today from the conversations. And in fact, it was a huge amount. It was a ginormous amount of information and shared lived experience. But what I'm going to invite us to do now, if possible, is just to take a breath. In Irish, we'd say, in all gamal, slow down your breath. We'd also say maybe togaboge, which just means slow down. And every culture around the world represented in this celebration today might have their own version. It might be poli poli from East Africa, or shway shway in the Arabic world. But just taking a moment to allow ourselves just to breathe into the wisdom, to allow our nervous system to recalibrate, and for the information overload sometimes just to relax itself and process somehow. So I'm going to invite you to take a slow breath in through the nose, deep from the belly, the diaphragm, and a slow breath out, paying attention to maybe the pause in between that is so useful in today's world as well. We all need a pause. I'm going to invite you to feel the connection to the breath. The information we got was fantastic. The wisdom and knowledge is fantastic. But how we can embody and relate to it is also so important. Slowing down sometimes allows us just that opportunity to feel the connection in the body. We know we are compassionate. We are justice seeking. We are empathic. We are kind individuals. We are innately compassionate. But just allowing ourselves to reset in light of what's happening in the world today, more than ever before, there's so much oppression, injustice, so much challenges, but we can take some agency. And for the team of GoldenRuleism, which has evolved from the very golden rule that Dr. Musi talked about earlier on today, we just want to share a snippet and invite as many people as possible to join our community, which is evolving from the initial golden rule, using the principles of GoldenRuleism, which is basically to do to all others, both directly and indirectly, what you would want done to you, or don't do to any others, either directly or indirectly, what you wouldn't want done to you. It's taking it and it's encompassing the all bit for children, for animals, and for nature in particular. And we heard so much of this today in the presentations. We're going beyond the human-centric approach into the geocentric approach, but really the beneficiaries of the work that we're doing today with our small team of highly energized and passionate people about taking the golden rule into action, into people's lives, and the doing bit. We're inviting you to become GoldenRuleism ambassadors by going onto our website, which is goldenruleismcan.org, by clicking on to the ambassadors. And it's not an obligation, but for us it's a chance to interconnect, to show people around the world that you're not alone, that we are not alone. And in the beautiful Ubuntu that Dr. Musi opened up with today, we are together, we are connected. I am because we are. And there's so many versions of this around the world today. What we'd love to do is share with you another evolution, which has come from Craig Klein's booklet around Golden Rule, but introducing GoldenRuleism and all of the isms that we can work with today, tapping into that innate compassion, wisdom, kindness, empathy, and putting it directly into action for children, for animals, and for nature. And that's what the can represents. So the can-do approach is what we're asking our ambassadors to get on board. I can do, we can do. Instead of being overwhelmed and taking away our agency from thinking about what can we do in the world today when there's so much out there that can overwhelm us, rather than what can we do, we're switching the we and the I, and we're saying what we can do, what I can do, taking the agency, looking at the empowerment, and really just bringing that into our everyday lives. So the can, children, animals, nature. We want you to join our community. We want you to be inspired and inspire others, and we want to be able to facilitate that. Our booklet has now translated from English to Arabic to Spanish. It's in the process of being translated into French, into Hindi, and let's continue bringing that to many other parts of the world. We know the wisdom is there, we know the drive is there, and the motivation is there, and we want to be able to assist and support you. Happy GoldenRuleism Day, happy Golden Rule Day to all around the world. Mila mahikot. 1,000 thank yous.
Amazing. So you know now that there's an ambassador program right there for anyone to join there. Let me just share really quickly my screen. We have a lot of resources at the Charter for Compassion. The one that I wanted to share with you the most is goldenruleday.org. You can just do that on the URL. And here we have not only the programming, but we have the GoldenRuleism booklet. This is also another thing. We have the history and the background of the Golden Rule, and then the Golden Rule archives of different programs that we have that we've had the previous years. And I wanted to share with the Charter for Compassion is hosting their Compassion Action Conference on May 13th and 14th. This is going to be a living framework where pillars converge. We're inviting everyone to propose ideas, or to share a panel, or to be part of the conference. And we are excited to provide this and show that the compassion is a principle of action, just like the Golden Rule. Also, Charter for Compassion is providing the TLC trainings, Talk, Listen, Connect, which is a bridge building training so that you can build stronger communities within your own areas. And don't forget to listen to our Compassion podcast with Compassion. You can find it on our website or on any other platforms that you listen to your podcasts from. I want to once again thank everyone for joining us, for being part of this celebration. We will be sending you an email with all the resources that have been shared on the chat, and also other resources that we might be able to share with you as well. And I wanted to close really with sharing how amazing it's been to see and feel that commonality that the Golden Rule provides to all of us. And not only that, but how important, how basic it is, and how uniting can be if we all share this common principle and bring more awareness to it. At the same time, I would like to leave you with sort of like a dilemma that I have with the Golden Rule in a sense. I think that when we say treat others as we want to be treated, or as you want to be treated, we are automatically splitting us. We're saying me and others, us and others. And so it's kind of like, what if we say treat us as we want to be treated? And so I think that's a question that we might be able to explore. And I'm hoping that next year for Golden Rule Day, we have a bigger conference maybe where we can share and explore more of these ideas. So again, thank you so much. I want to respect your time. So we're going to leave right now. But thank you for joining us and happy Golden Rule Day 2026. We'll see you later.